production.
Oh, Buddy is on fire in a big way, and that car is still burning up down there. He is hard on the brakes as it dances around and over, and Terry Haddock was over there as well. The Sips.
And welcome to Nitro Nation with the driver of that car, Mr. Buddy Hall. How's it going tonight, buddy? Welcome to Nitro Nation, man. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll start off by saying, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Exactly.
Got a Star Wars hat on. Today's a good day.
Today is a good day. Anytime you can talk funny car nitros, it's a good day, right?
That's right.
So welcome in. Again, thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule to sit down and chat with Jordan and I. But starting right out the gate there, Gainesville, hot fired. One of them fireballs that you see back in the day where it's like John Force burning it down. It's like you don't really see those that often anymore. But kind of take us through that. What happened? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Just drive us through that.
Yeah, a really unfortunate circumstance that we went through. But first of all, I got to say these cars are safe. As bad as the fire looked, I came out with some what I would consider pretty minor burns, and once again, it just goes to prove that every single time something's happened to these race cars, that's what we consider catastrophic. That all the teams, NHRA, SFI, everybody rallies and they make these cars safer. That was a really bad fire. There was no oil left in the oil tank and there was no oil left in the motor. I mean, that thing burnt every drop of oil there was in it, which is roughly 5 gallons of oil. And it was hot, and it was a really fluke deal. These cars kick the rods out of them all the time. That is a normal thing. But, what happened and what caused the fire to continue to burn is just literally the ultimate sequence of events that just has never really happened in modern times. And so it's unfortunate to burn our car to the ground. And, it's very costly and expensive and very timely to fix it. And it's unfortunate. We came out with the absolute best intentions and really we built a super nice race car over the winter. And, we really kind of had everything doubles, triples, quadruples. We got lots of motors and blowers, and what we don't have a lot of is we don't have a lot of bodies. Bodies are something that are rare in funny car these days. So that's really what's held us back. The bodies are just so expensive and they're so rare. So, but we're working on it. We'll be back.
About what is the cost of a body nowadays?
New, with all the bells and whistles mounted on a car is right at $100,000. Yep.
And you skewered one.
Yeah. I absolutely, turned one into a bonfire, and it's unfortunate. It was a really nice body.
That car did look good. That car did look really good down there.
Yeah, thank you.
That. And then got into Terry down there at the big end, but everything was good there. I do have a question though. From 0 to 300 happens pretty quick. From 300 to a fireball getting stopped, like the relative time between going down the track and then trying to get it stopped in the fireball, I bet you there's a lot going through your mind right there. Like that's,
yeah, I think though, once you're racing at this level, it's important that, you can't panic. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're that driver that panics, you're the driver that doesn't make it out of the car alive, right? I've made a lot of runs in race cars, fuel altereds, top fuel, nitro funny car. I've kind of driven everything, door cars. I've driven a lot of stuff in my career. And one thing that I've always prided myself on is being a driver that brings it back to the pit. Up until the last 9 months, I had never wrecked a race car in my entire career. 20 years.
That's pretty good.
I crossed the center line one time in 20 years, never hit a wall in 20 years. And in the last 8-9 months, I've completely destroyed 5 race cars. It's wild. Like, and I don't know what the world has got coming for me, but I assume that I'm like filling this whole bag full of good luck because I've gotten all the bad stuff out. But Yeah, you can't panic. To get back what you were asking, you can't. What's going through your head is do all the right things. Get the fuel off, get the chutes out, get the fire bottles on. Row the brake. You can't just grab the brake and pull it because the car will it'll pinwheel, right? It'll pirouette. You got to row the brake, and you got to keep it what you think is straight. I could see nothing. Like with like that, it was black in there. You go back, you watch the video, you can see in the car, it looks like the front window is tinted with limo tint. Well, it was black. I couldn't see anything. The only thing I could see every now and again is an orange flash go in front of my face because that was a flame, like somewhere in there. I don't know. I really couldn't tell. And, and then it was an oil fire. So the suit was heavy. And so when I came up out of the car, I came up out of the hatch, I still couldn't see because my visor was black. It had soot on it. So I didn't see anything until I flipped the visor open. And but I did all the right things. I got the fuel off, even though it quote unquote turned itself back on. Got the bottles on, and got the thing stopped to the best of my ability. I feel really bad about hitting an opponent. I never want to do that, and I still feel bad about that. But I did my best, and I did, I think, everything I could have possibly done, and it just breaks my heart. We burned up a really nice race car and bunch of nice brand new Impact gear. God bless Impact. I keep burning stuff up, and they keep sewing it up for me. And they keep building me new stuff. God bless them. If you're in the market for a suit, you shouldn't look any further. Go to Impact. They make the best stuff, and have kept me safe. Next gen headgear, or neck restraints. I've been using them. I've been through it the last few races, to say the least. The last few races I've competed, I've had holes put in my hand. I've had my hands burnt. I've broke my wrist. I've been on fire. I've hit the wall. I've hit the sand. I've had a lot of things happen to me in these last few races I've competed in, and I'm still motivated to do it. That's the thing. I'm not unmotivated. I'm not scared of it. And, I'm just rebuilding, and I'll strap myself right back in there and get in there and do it like I had done it before. It's what we do. It's how I'm built. It's what I want to do. In my life, all I want to do is drive funny cars and be a good father and a husband and own a business and have fun. That's all I want to do. Oh, and pet my dogs. I love my dogs. But
Sounds
I
like
do
a
just
pretty
want to
good
say
deal.
thank you for your shout out to Impact. It makes me feel a lot better about having my own helmet now. Number one. Number two, speaking of kiddos and families, we got a chance to catch up with you about your son before we started talking.
Yeah.
How is your son's mother doing after all of this?
Well, she's incredible. I mean, if I'm her, I'm telling me to quit. You know what I mean? And she doesn't. She knows. She knows this is what I do. She knows this is what my family's done for since the 1950s. My family. A lot of people don't know this because no one of my family ever made it past like a local regional level. My family started doing this in 1956. I'm third generation, and my son is soon to be fourth generation, and it's what I do. I have always lived life on quote unquote on the edge, if you will. I've always participated in things that are high risk but high calculated, or highly calculated. It doesn't matter if I'm at work. I'm climbing on roofs. People think I'm nuts. I get on a 2-story roof, and I walk a 10-12 pitch, or get in a high rise and walk to the edge of it and look over to check the coping. It's just what I do. It's who I am. I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy, because I'm definitely not. It's just who I am. It's what I do, and I'm not going to change. You know what I mean? That's for sure. This is. If I was going to be something different, I would have been different by the time I was 46. So we're just going to keep on, and like I said, she supports me, and I hate it for her, because I always say I'm gonna kill her in racing before I kill myself racing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give her a heart attack. She's gonna drop dead on the starting line after one of these crazy crashes I have. But God bless her. She continues to push me and promote me to do it. And she's a racing family. Jim Livingston, that's her grandfather, and he owned Woodburn, Oregon for all those years, and he passed away last year. We lost him. God bless him. And Jay Livingston, the former owner of National Trail Raceway, sold to IHRA. That's her uncle. And her other uncle is Joey Severance, top alcohol dragster. And then there's this our family and our son. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's pretty cool.
And I want to just piggyback a little bit. A fellow Nitro racer of yours, Tony Stewart, recently went on a podcast and talked about how having his son as well and his
Yeah.
wife kind of makes everything full circle, makes everything feel different at the track. How does that come into play with the things that you have experienced so far this year with your family?
It is full circle. You know, Tony's right. I haven't seen the podcast. I haven't listened to it, but I mean, if he said full circle, he's spot on. You know, to me, there's nothing quite like having your family at the track. You know, whenever you get out of the car and your wife's there and you go back to the pit area and your son is there, and God bless the folks at Cruz Pedregon's pit area, because they watch my kid while I go up there and run, and I know he raises complete hell. But they're my family too. You know, those folks over there at Cruz Pedregon Racing, they've taken us in like their family, like we're family to them, and they love my kids. So, but it is amazing. You know, it is full circle, and to be able to raise my son in the environment. You know, my son is obsessed with cars and tires and wheels. I mean, it's not. And I'm not saying that because he's my son. Like literally, you put 20 toys on the ground, and one of them can be a car, and the other 19 could be anything else. He'll grab the car first.
Yeah.
You know, his favorite thing to do when I get home from work, you know, we go outside and, you know, we either get in my truck or my van or whatever I'm driving that day, and he'll climb around in there and touch every button and hold the steering wheel. And, you know, tonight, you know, over the weekend, you know, we washed my van, and, you know, so we're out there and messing around. You know, he's got the wash mitt in his hand, and he's scrubbing the tire. It's just amazing how he watches.
He's
everything.
ready to go.
Yeah, we go to the shop and he'll stand there. You know, I have the Top Fuel car, 2 funny cars, I have my old altered. So it's race car city in my shop, right? And they're all up on jack stands and pro jacks. He'll stand there at the front tire and just do this and just spin the tire for like ever. We always say the best babysitter in our shop is the front tire of a race car, because he just stands there and just. But it is cool. It's the coolest thing in the world. And you know, it's not just, you know, and again, I don't know what Tony said, but it's not just my family at the track. It's, you know, specifically Dominic. You know, my son and Dominic, they play at the racetrack. Like my wife takes Maverick over there, and you know, him and Dom, you know, they play. They've been interacting since they were like before they knew what each other were really doing. You know. And it's cool because when they get older, they'll have stories at the racetrack with both of our families and having all the fun. It's pretty cool, and that's something that's not really replaceable or duplicatable. So it's all good. Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, that's excellent. I personally grew up at the racetrack, so I'm like, I know it's great.
Me too.
but we can if that's okay, this last weekend, we got wind that you were at the NASCAR race in Texas.
Yeah.
NASCAR? NASCAR? What the hell?
Yeah, I got dizzy.
Yeah.
So what was that like? And you were there with Ford. So what did we all do?
Yeah, it was great. You know, obviously Ford Performance, you know, they're one of our partners, and they know that I'm not racing. So, and they know I'm local. So we got a formal invite out there. They rolled out the blue carpet, not the red, the blue carpet for us. They rolled out the blue carpet, and we really enjoyed it. You know, I spent some time in the Ford Tech trailer and got to learn how they assist all the teams that are on the Ford umbrella out there at NASCAR, and I got to spend some time right there in pit row, right on the gridiron, up in some of the pit carts, and you know, seeing, you know, how these crew guys and how these team members, you know, act and you know, how they service these cars. And I was in the garage before the race and got to see him prep the cars, and I got a full experience. It was really great, you know, and I'm super thankful for, you know, all the time that all those people spent with me. And I got to see my buddy Rick Ware out there. You know, he's got a Chevrolet. That's okay, Rick. It's okay. You got Chevys. That's all right. I still love you, brother. But I got to see Rick Ware. He was out there, and I got to spend some time with Rick and his guys, and it was good. You know, would I rather be driving a race car? Absolutely, no question. I belong at an NHRA race. You know, sitting in the seat of a Nitro funny car, but I'm sure thankful for that opportunity. You know what else is really cool too? God, I had a fanboy moment, and y'all got to know that I don't fanboy. Michael Jordan was with me.
Wow.
Listen,
that's understandable.
I had the GOAT himself within 10 feet of me, and I was seriously contemplating, like, how do I get this guy's attention? How do I be the most annoying guy here and get this guy's attention? I thought to myself, I can't do that. I'm here with Ford. If I were just there for whole racing, I would have done it. But I had a Ford logo on my shirt, and I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt him. But Michael Jordan was there. He's right in the pit box, man. He's got the headphones on. He's dialed in. It's just really cool. I mean, I'm a fan of all motorsports, even though I may not drive, cars in a circle and all that stuff. I still think it's really cool. It's cool. It's a cool sport. The pre-race is incredible. I don't know if you've ever been to a NASCAR race, but the pre-race is like 10 of 10. Like what they do before the race, entertainment-wise, is absolutely 10 of 10. So really enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, that is the NASCAR pre-race experience is quite the time. I do agree.
It is.
I did want to touch on something. It kind of made me think of it because, like you're saying, you get up on a 2-story roof, you get up on the 3rd story. You got Jack Beckman, putting in elevators. NHRA guys have, other than the NASCAR guys, you got those drivers that they're drivers. NHRA guys are drivers, but we do other things. I think there's, the marketability of the NHRA driver and the blue collar is so there if we could just really tap into it. Because, you guys are, just foreman, superintendents, like just normal dudes, right? It just go fast on the weekends. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've owned my own construction company for right at a decade now. And, I love it. Like I'm not a guy that sits around. Like I'm out of bed between 3:30 and 5 o'clock every morning. You can count on 2 or 3 cups of coffee down my throat within an hour after I'm up, and I'm on the computer and got my brain going. I'm out the door between 6 and 8 a.m. and I'm on it. Today I probably drove 300 miles and never left the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm just all over the place, meetings and meeting with insurance adjusters and meeting with my people and interviewing new project managers to come to our company. Like I'm really aggressive and really active in my company. And it's just part of the world we live in too. I think, entrepreneurs and small business owners like myself, we're more active in our business than ever because I'll be honest with you, good people are really hard to find. Hard help is tough to find these days. People that really just want to commit and be a part of a company's culture and go hard they're hard to find. And so business owners that truly love their business and are building their business, they're always highly involved. And so, I'll race Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll get off the airplane Sunday night and sleep for 3 or 4 or 5 hours and get out of bed and go to a construction site by 7 a.m. on Monday morning. It's what I do. It's what I want to do. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. Just to be clear, it's what I want to do.
Now, the people on the site, do they know that they know you're a racer? You ever run into the fans on the site where it's kind of an odd situation, I guess, if you will?
I don't ever talk about it, and sometimes people. Eventually they all figure it out after they're around me for a while because I'll be on the phone with somebody and they'll be like, what are you talking about? Or somebody else will tell them. But otherwise, man, when I'm at work, I'm the owner of Vertex Contractors. That's just what I do. I'm not looking for any special treatment, whether it be on a job site or anything else in life. So, no, man, I don't actually, I talk about it zero, and something else too, like a little fun fact. In my entire house, there's not one single piece of racing photography or anything. Nothing.
That's wild. I would have lost a bet on that.
No, sir. No, it's all at my shop. I have an office. I have my race cars at my shop. I have full-size Christmas tree at my shop. I have my son's junior dragster at my shop. I have I have a classic car at my shop. I have, I collect 80s and 90s BMX bikes. Everything's at my shop. Like that's my spot. And that's where I keep that. And this is my family life. And I keep, but nothing in my house racing. Everyone, even my wife's like, let's just, I'm like, no, leave that stuff at the shop. Just like I'm not taking the couch from the house to the shop. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's got its box.
Everything's got its spot, right? We'll leave the kitchen table and the chairs and all this nice stuff here at the house, and we'll take all the racing stuff to the shop and vice versa. So,
Very quickly, did I just hear you mention that your 20-month-old son has a junior dragster?
I was gonna let it slide, but
now you make me feel like maybe I'm behind.
I was gonna let that slide because I was like, well, you can't use it for a while.
He had a junior dragster before he could walk.
Yeah, Yeah, that sounds about right. Wow, I might be behind. I don't know if I have 5 days to figure out my situation.
Come on, let's go. Hey, I was on the phone with a guy today who's going to help me. We're going to put a new motor and clutch on it. And I was on the phone with him today, and we're going to get all the proper things, the other parts and pieces we need ordered to get it put together. Because I'm gonna move all the pedals back and even extend the pedals, and I'll have him in the car. Like right now, I got him in a Hot Wheels, and he's figured out how to do the gas in the Hot Wheels, and he doesn't
Yeah,
have quite the system down yet, but he's catching on to it. And
yeah,
then I'm thinking by right at 3, I'll have him in it in our shop parking lot. And we'll just after hours when there's no one around, I'll just put him in the shop parking lot and I'll have a kill switch box in my hand and
yeah,
I'll just let him go until he it looks like he's gonna hit something, hit the button, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But we're
yeah.
gonna we're gonna get him drive. We already got him driving things. I mean, I was in the driveway with him tonight on a BMX bike, one of those Strider bikes. So I work with him all the time on stuff like that. It's what we do.
You're inspiring me. I feel like I'm giving my kid maybe too much grace. I need to start like locking in. Like we need a regiment with my kid apparently.
Well, my poor kid though, like it's like my wife really loves him. I mean, obviously, but she just loves on him. And Friday night we got a couple of my employees are here at the house, and I think it was even one of my neighbors. Our house is like a Grand Central Station. We have this kitchen entertainment area. I'm sitting in it right now, and we can seat 10 people at our kitchen table. So on any given Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, there's anywhere from 6 to 10 people at our house. And it's just everyone knows this is where we play cards. You know what I mean? So we're all playing cards, and the kid runs around while we're playing cards, right? Typical situation.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, he's got this big old crate, right? This big, it's like a, I don't know, it's like a circle crate. And he's screaming, he's upside down, his legs are in the air, he's pointed straight down, he's in there, he's trying to get out. My wife gets up. I said, no, 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 no. He ain't drowning and he ain't burning. Leave him in there. He'll figure it out. And so he comes popping out, his face is all red. Now he's got a black eye. It's like, he's gonna figure it out.
He's going
You know what I mean?
the
I
whole
do that.
method.
I do that often with my son right now. Like I said, he'll be 2 on Sunday, and there are so many times where I'm telling him like, "You're okay. This isn't like a sad thing or a mad thing. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna be okay." And now he'll say to me when he's mad at me, "You're okay. I'm
you're okay.
okay." I'm like, "You are. It's okay."
Yeah. Yeah. But I always say he ain't choking, he ain't
Yep.
drowning, he ain't on fire.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out. He'll be all right.
That's awesome. That is perfect.
That is phenomenal. Um, so you were talking about the shop being in Texas, right? How is it operating out of Texas? Do you find difficulty? Like, yeah, I mean, I know most of the teams are right there in the Indy area. How is it being a single car team, if you will, operating out of Texas?
So there's pros and cons, and obviously we know that, but I have no intention on moving to Indy. First of all, believe it or not, there are more cars in Dallas, Texas that have nitromethane in the tank than Indy. There are just more pro teams in Indy. So
Nice.
there's a ton of resources in Dallas.
Right.
Like they're just not as thought of, right? There is, I think we did a count one time. There are 27 individual nitro cars in Dallas Fort Worth. Isn't that wild?
Oh
That is
wow.
wild.
I did.
Yeah, you got
I did
funny
not
cars,
know that.
still out there. It's top fuel. I mean, think about it locally. You got, I'm here. I got top fuel and funny car. Dexter Tuttle's here. He's got top fuel and funny car. Spencer Massey's here. Top fuel. You got, I mean, the list goes on. You got, the Blue Max history, and it's still in town. I mean, God, there's so many fuel cars here. It's crazy. So there's a lot of resources. Also, too, the I feel like we're at advantage because we have no real distractions. We're
Right.
not in a shop with another team. Speaking of my son, look, here he is right here. Here's his little hand. He came. He came. He's trying to come on the show right now with his black eye. Um, there's no distractions, right? There's not the guys across the parking lot. And no one's worried about what they're doing, and there's no one trying to recruit my guys. I hate to sound that way, but I don't like that. I mean, my guys are my guys. Leave them alone. Don't try to recruit them to your team. Find your own people, kind of thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? We don't have any of that. The downside is there are some incredibly good resources in that circle in Indy. Like for example, my chassis guy's Murph McKinney. Well, Murph is 20 hours away from me. You know what I mean? and that's not amazing, but it's what it is. You know what I mean? So there's some sacrifices, but we're not going anywhere. We have, Matt Bynum, my crew chief, he loves it down here. He's like, dude, it's awesome. He's like, we're like our own little thing here, our own little bubble, and no one bothers us. And you had a cool shop, and you got cool shop neighbors, and everything's cool. It's just, we're in this little small town on the south side of Dallas, and everyone, it's a big, it's a small but big community where we're at, and my shop is kind of a hub. There's a lot of people coming out of my shop every day. There's Vertex people coming in and out of there. There's racing people. There's my friends, my family. It's just one big circle. So it's pretty cool.
Sounds kind of like a little indie west out there with
It is.
not the spotlights. I never knew that there was that much nitro stuff down there.
Man, there's a lot.
I never really thought about it.
There's a whole lot. Tons of fuel stuff down here. And tons of fuel history. I mean, the history of nitro and DFW it's huge. Raymond Beadle. Look at him. Blue Max. Right. It's just one. There's so many.
Yes.
The Oberhoffers are from down here. People don't. They're born and raised here. You know what I mean? Or not born here, but they were raised here.
Right.
So there's just so much nitro history here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that. That was an interesting tidbit. Thank you very much, Jordan.
Well, we've talked about NASCAR. We've talked about other things that you've driven, but I also caught wind that you'll be participating in a radial race. So we've talked about some things you've done this year. Yep. What is the scoop on that? Where are we? What is it? What's going on?
Yeah, so I got to drive a really nice and fast radio car 2 weeks ago. We were going rounds too. We were knocking them down, and unfortunately, it started raining. I was pissed.
Bummer.
But I drove the second fastest in the world Ultra Street car 2 weeks ago. Oh. And like I said, we went rounds. It was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun, and I have some irons in the fire with working on some other rides at some bigger events. I'm not going to own any of the cars. I'll be driving for other people, but to get into I want to get into a Pro 275 car and a RVW car and a Pro Mod car. I want to get into a door car that runs 350s. That's what I want to drive. It's on my bucket list, and I just kind of got my feet wet with that Ultra Street car, and it was a lot of fun, man. I had a ton of fun, and got to race with some local guys, and I really enjoyed that because I don't know a lot of the local guys that are racing at a radio level or a bracket racing level. So it was super cool. I just blended right in, man, and I just had fun with those guys, and I learned a lot, and we had fun. It was cool. It was so cool, but I want to do more of it. I really enjoy the radio cars, right? I like the car. Like a Nitro Funny car is my favorite car. That is the ultimate, right? That for me is like that's it. That's the end all be all. But my second favorite cars as far as like appearance and uniqueness are the Pro Mod and RVW and the Pro 275 cars. They're bad to the bone. They're cool. They look good, right? They got the right look, this right stance. The motor combinations are cool, and they're bad to the bone. They look cool, and that's a big part of it for me. I'm a hot rod guy, and it's not just the challenge of driving the cars. I like to look at them, right? I like to look at them. I think they're cool. I like to build them. I still get my hands dirty on them, and I enjoy that part of it as well. So, highly interested in that area of drag racing right now in my life. Those radio cars, really fast, high performance radio cars, and then of course Pro Mod. And I'm working on some deals. I think you're going to see me in one.
Oh, I was just going to ask, you have a fellow Nitro Funny car driver who has entered a Pro Mod event and been very successful. Wondering, because we have some radial and True Street classes in that event, do you have your eyes set on something like the World Series of Pro Mod or the DI Winter Series like Spencer would participate in?
Winter Series, 100%. We'll definitely have a deal by then. But there's going to be some stuff that comes up this summer, I think. There's a lot of really big radial races out there right now. Gosh darn it. They're gating people, a lot of people are coming to these races, and the cars are incredible. I mean, it's bad to the bone. I mean, it is grassroots racing at a really high level, and it is fun. It's a lot of fun. And I love that side of the sport. That's a side of the sport that I've just in the last few years have became more in tune with, because they do a lot of that locally. That's kind of a thing here local, and there's a lot of those cars local. So of course I'm privy, I'm keen to it. And I found that it's really cool. I mean, in one class you can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different engine combinations and bodies, and it's just cool, right? You can have all these different things. I love Nitro Funny Car, I love Top Fuel, but they all look the same. I mean, all the Fords look the same, all the Chevys, they're all kind of look the same. You know what I mean? Top Fuel dragsters, I mean, you either got a canopy or you don't. They all look the same. We're all running the same injector, the same blower, which is cool because it works, and it's bad to the bone. And nothing is cooler than watching a Fuel Funny Car run 340 miles an hour and 1,000 feet. But the difference is the uniqueness of these classes. It's kind of like how funny cars were like 40 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where everyone's combination was a little different, but they ran together and they looked different and they had cool paint jobs. And like these guys are like, man, they spent 30 grand in a paint job.
Yeah.
It's like, this is crazy to me. Like candy paint jobs on these cars. And, you got, these guys polish wheels and chrome valve covers. It's like, it's cool, man. It's just cool stuff. And like I said, I'm a hot rodder too. So I enjoy that stuff.
I like that. I like it a lot too. And the one thing that I like about it is that like nitro racing is cool because on paper, it like anybody could win, right? But there's always going to be like a thought of, well, this person did really well last week, or this person did really well early in the season or something. And the radial racing, it's so cool because if you're qualified, I really feel like when I'm watching it, I'm like, anybody could win this. I do not want to bet on those like radial classes or pro mod. I will do my drag racing bracket bonanza fill outs and things like that. I don't want to do brackets for that. I don't want to bet on it. I am going to lose because anybody truly can walk away a winner at those events.
Yes.
Yeah, it can. And again, that's what makes it so cool, and just, I mean, it's infant stage. I mean, look at this guy, you guys know about this Mustang called the Snot Rocket. You heard about this?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
300 cubic inches running close to 250 miles an hour. In a quarter mile.
A lot of bang for your buck.
Dude, are you kidding me? A 300 and some like low 300, like it's like 312 or some weird number.
Right.
300 cubic inch Coyote. Little pistons like that in this thing, making serious power and put into the ground. I mean, out of here at Texas 2K, right here at Texas Motorplex. I think he went like was it a 78?
Something like that. It was insane.
At 246 or 40 miles an hour. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, and they throw the rules at him, right? Whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say something good enough they had to change the rules.
Whatever. But that just goes to show you that this part of drag racing is in its infancy. It will evolve. It will eventually become, everyone kind of looks the same and everybody kind of got the same car and the same blood.
Right.
But that's still 10, 15, 20 years away. We're still infancy and it still's cool. Anyway, I want to drive. I want to drive all of them.
Hell yeah.
I want to watch you drive
all of them. Yes.
I did really well. Like, I'm not bragging, but I did super well. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. We went 2 rounds. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. I had never driven a nitrous car before, ever. So I spent like, seriously, don't laugh at me. I probably spent like 10, 12 hours in the seat of that car before I ever hit the start button, just going through the sequence over and over and over again and memorizing bottle pressures and where everything was at and shutting my eyes and, going through, the shift points and all this stuff because I didn't want to get in and look like an idiot, Yeah.
It'd be easy to do.
Easy. Believe me when I tell you, there are a lot of steps that you have to make sure get completed before you stage a nitrous car. Otherwise, the run is aborted.
Yeah.
It's got to be perfect every time. Bottle pressure's got to be it's got to be perfect.
So you had mentioned the radial and the big crowds that come out to that. And one of my talking points tonight was technology versus show. And, how has the technology kind of diminished the show in the fuel cars, like you talk about. They kind of all look the same. You're running the same stuff, but then we have this new technology coming in with that radial stuff, and it's just killing the show. Like, what is it that we need to do to get that show to our big events? You know what I mean? Like, where is it that where is it? Is it the technology that's taking away some of the burnouts? It's cool to watch them go 340 mile an hour, but there's a lot less show in that now. What do you think the deal is?
Evolution of the sport, right? It doesn't matter if you're talking about like the evolution of the actual, like the nuts and bolts of the sport or the cars, right? Everything is always evolving, and it's evolving. Here's my son again. He's just dying to join the call.
Hell, bring him on.
Did you say cars?
Yeah, he knows how to talk cars. Trust me. And so it's all evolution, right? I mean, you got to know that 20 years ago, none of the racers or crew chiefs got together and said, "Let's make the tires not smoke anymore."
Right.
None of them did that. Not one of them. Not one racetrack owner said, "Hey, it seems like a good idea if we shorten up the burnouts and make the tires so they basically don't smoke at all." It happened due to materials being used and performance, forcing it to happen. I'm using tires as an example. The traction compounds have changed. The formulas have changed. The tire compounds have changed. The configuration and the actual design from an engineering perspective, the tire has changed. And so, I mean, the truth is, I really don't even, I want to believe that we don't even need to do a burnout anymore. I think we could like literally just clean off the tires and make a run. And I don't think you'd really see a difference. That's how good the tires are. They're that good. Goodyear has made an incredible tire to drag race with in Top Fuel and Nitro Funny Car. And so that's just one example of evolution,
right,
along with other things, because as things evolve performance wise, they also evolve with rules, because when performance increases, volatility increases. And when volatility increases, wrecks happen, right? They happen. Fires happen, wrecks happen, things happen. So some of the performance, or better yet, some of the form of the car follows rules based off the technology pushing the cars forward as far as power and application, because it's not just power, it's also application. You can make as much power as you want. If you can't apply it and it can't transfer from that crankshaft to that very last point of contact, which is the tire in the racetrack, it don't matter how much power you make. Like the guy, the snot rocket, Coyote, right? That little Mustang, he's probably making 3,000. He's using 2,999 horsepower.
Right.
You get it? He's figured out how to use it all.
Yeah.
So tough question to answer, because you got to know that the racers are pushing evolution. The manufacturers are pressing evolution, because that's how they sell race car parts. You got to know that if they don't come out with new stuff, they go out of business. Yeah. And they can't make it too good, because if they make it too good, it don't break, and then they're out of business. And then you got, track promoters and track owners that need to put on a show and not oil the racetracks. And it's a lot to it. And I don't know what's right or wrong. I just know that it's changing all the time. And I don't know if there is a right or wrong. I just think it's always changing. And I think at the nitro level, and I'm so passionate about these fuel cars. I mean, I love nitro cars. I love them. And I am so passionate about them that I'm crazy enough to do this, right? I'm crazy enough to own a team. And as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm the youngest team owner in NHRA drag racing. I'm definitely the youngest Fuel Funny Car owner. I know that for a fact.
Right.
And I think I'm the youngest fuel team owner, which is not good. I think there should be plenty of people younger than me, but regardless, that's how bad I want to do this. I'm willing to put, my time and my energy and my effort forth to keep what I feel like a class going, right? I mean, a lot of these guys have been doing this for a long time. They've retired. Look, Don Perdome on all those teams for all those years, he's retired. Don Schumacher, God bless him, rest his soul. He had all those teams. He doesn't exist anymore. And then you got other guys that are getting a little bit older, Connie Coletta, and then Doug Coletta. How long's Doug want to do it, right? None of us are going to live forever. And it just so happens they've been living a lot longer than us on this call right now. So
Right.
they're getting a little bit closer to the end. And what's that look like? You know, John Force, I mean, God, that guy, I mean, he paved the path for everybody pretty much, you know? I mean, look what he did for our sport. I mean, it's incredible what John Force did for our sport. And, you know, he's all done and his daughters are done. What's all this look like for some of these names, these men and women that have had such a stronghold on these fuel classes for so many years? What's it look like when they retire or when they're not here with us anymore? There's got to be some younger people in my age group and even younger that want to do this thing, that have an entrepreneur spirit, that have the burning desire to sign themselves up for a daily ass kicking. Sorry for my language, but they want to sign up for that because it is a lot of work. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And, we need people that are passionate about it, but it's a lot of work. And that's why so many people stray away from it, right? Because it is so much easier to own a pro mod car. I mean, the maintenance is much lower. There's more racing and it's more local, so there's less travel. It doesn't use up the parts. It burns much cheaper fuel. You don't have to have a semi trailer full of a spare car and full of engines and blowers and injectors and clutch disc. You don't have to have all that. So you don't have to spend $4 million to get started. You could spend $300,000 or $400,000, $500,000 and have a pretty nice start. You know what I mean? Right. So it's I'm just super passionate about it. And when I speak, I try to speak and try to always remind anybody listening that we need more people doing this and people that are really trying to do it. They need more sponsors. They need more partners. They need more help. Right. I mean, Spencer, I love Spencer. I love Courtney and they got a kid on the way, which I think is cool as heck. By the way, did you know Maverick's Junior Dragster is Courtney's junior dragster?
Did not know that.
Not have known. I learned he had a junior dragster just a couple of minutes ago. So
it was the one that was in the Disney movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Courtney Enders.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's Courtney Enders.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so
is
that's
he going to be asking for that back with her recent news?
I already told them they were going to get it back. Maverick's going to use it, and it's going to be delivered to their pit area when I'm done with it.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they already know. We've been talking about this for a while. But I don't know, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, Spencer Hyde. Like, he's a businessman. He was raised in a business family, just like me, construction, same thing. Maybe he wants to own a team. Well, we need him to own a team, right?
Yeah.
I look at Chad Green's son, Hunter Green. Perfect. Young guy, got his dad showing the way. Perfect. Maybe Hunter's going to take over. We need some younger guys that want to take on and want to wrestle this 500-pound gorilla of owning a Nitro team. We need it. We need TJ Zizzo back out full time if he'd do it. He's a great face and great name for our sport, and he's only racing 2 or 3 times a year, and I have mad respect for him. I'm just dropping some names here Krista Baldwin, she needs to be out here. Those are some names I'm just randomly thinking off the top of my head that I'd love to see, racing full time and because they have the abilities and capabilities.
I just want to say both of those drivers and teams are going to be at Chicago, and I am from the Chicagoland area, and I will not be there, and I'm devastated because I love both of their energies. TJ did great there last year. I love to see it. I love to hear from him. Chris's energy is like infectious. It's like people think of like Maddie Gordon. It's like they're the same people. If you put them in the same room together, I don't want to be there. I probably would be like, oh my God, like overwhelmed. They're infectious. I love to see them. But we've talked about radial, and that you're getting into that. We're on the lookout in the future for that. But what is in the future? We've talked about TJ and Chris are going to be in Chicago. What is your NHRA future? Can you say anything?
We're trying to get back out there. Here's the thing. We're waiting on funding. I have all the stuff. I have a spare car. The car I burn up is at Murph McKinney's, and it's probably really close to being done. Like, I'm probably going to get the call any day. We've purchased another body. We're just waiting on funding. One thing I've learned through running my business is that if I don't treat drag racing like a business, I'll be out of business.
Yeah.
Right?
Quick.
Yeah. And I will never allow myself to make a decision that could impact my family or anyone around me in a negative way if I can prevent it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we have all the stuff. We got a beautiful new hauler. I got 2 semi trailers. I got it all. I got all the stuff, right? Have a 5,000 square foot shop. I have a top fuel dragster, fresh, ready to go. I have 2 nitro funny cars. I got 8 motors sitting there put together. We have all the stuff. We have everything, a lot of stuff. We have teams that are full time borrowing parts from me. When I tell you we have stuff, we have a lot of stuff. But what we don't have is we don't have the support we need to race full time as far as the operational budget goes. So we won't. We're not going to do that. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to put myself and my team in a position. And if I can't race the right way, if I can't run all the qualifying rounds, have a competitive car, have a full team, and everyone stay in a nice hotel and fly on the right flights and eat the right food, we're not going.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. It's not fair to the sport. It's not fair to my team. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to anyone involved. I'd rather sit back, wait for the right funding, build the right partners, and get back out there when we can. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm going to stick to it. I feel like we have done a good job with our team of building the absolute ultimate foundation for any partner to step in and put forward operating money and have an instantaneous competitive race car. We have it. We have everything. Like, it is rare that someone on the sidelines has everything.
Right.
Most of the time, people on the sidelines not racing full time don't have all the stuff. Like, TJ Zizzo has it all. That guy's got it all, right? Part-time racer. I'm a part-time racer. I have it all. There's very few of us that literally have it all on the sidelines, and we're always looking for those partners. And we're going to find the right partner. We're working with a few right now, and we're moving closer and closer towards that. And my goal, I don't want to be a part-time racer. I want to be a full-time drag racer under my banner and do it and do it in a fashion that I feel is the right way to do it and be competitive. And we'll get it done. Trust me.
Hell yeah.
That's what we do.
I like that. Jordan, do you have anything else?
No.
Buddy, I cannot thank you enough for coming out and hanging out, especially, treat me good in Gainesville there and chit-chatting with me and stuff. So really appreciate that. Good luck coming up, especially with the radio stuff and some Pro Mod stuff later in the year. We'll be looking for that.
Yeah, keep us updated.
Heck yeah. But good luck finding the partners to get back out there and getting into Nitro stuff. Looking forward to you getting back out there. But for everybody here at ATYL Media, Miss Taylor Kitchen, Miss Jordan Wick, buddy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we will be back. I don't know when, but
next week.
Then, next week. Oh, there you go. Next week. That's right. That's right.
I got you. We're here next week.
But again, thank you guys very much. We're going to get out of here. You guys take care.
Thank you all. Appreciate you having me.